Muses, where everything is awesome except for Disney, Star Wars, and House of the Dragon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. That is another cowboy campfire where we're gathering around. Everyone's lighting up whatever they lit up back then, I guess cigarettes. And except we don't do that here at Miss Martin Muses. And we are going to be talking about an awesome movie that I watched for the first time. And it is A Fistful of Dollars by Clint. Well, not by Clint Eastwood, but definitely starring Clint Eastwood. And once again, all the way from the north, and all the way from the future. It is the one, the only, the person from a very cold place right now, Steve Kenobi.
Hi. Yeah, we just had snow up to halfway up to your knees almost, and then now it's already melting, so it's slushy and icy. Yay.
Oh, well, I'm in Florida where it's about 75 degrees, the ocean's nice, and I read this Dritz this morning on the balcony, so there.
Yeah, Dritz is fun.
I love Dritz. Yes, we love that. That is definitely awesome here at Miss Martin Music.
It's like a fantasy version of a Western book.
Oh yeah, I would agree, but of course, for certain, it's a very glorified and well written D&D campaign.
Mm-hmm.
With the spells and everything, because having played D&D basically before I read these books, I'm now starting to recognize things. I'm like, hey, there was that. We did something like that in our game. And, they have amulets of this or that. And it's like, oh, that person got a +1 when they did that spell, but it's loads of fun. Oh, dear me. Alrighty, well, here we have in the chat, we have Nordporial. Hello, Nordporial. Thank you for being here. I love it when Teresa talks a classic. Well, thank you, and I'm glad that you are here to enjoy it. And hello, Teresa and Ramon Kenobi. I'm not sure I get the reference unless it's typing issues.
No, it's the bad guy from A Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, okay. I'm terrible with names. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should probably.
I'm a bad guy now.
Here we go. Well, no, I think that's awesome. No, the villains in this were great. I will have to be watching this again, though, to be fair, because
that whole trilogy is so rewatchable. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to have any problems with it, but I was trying to describe it to my mother. I said, part of the problem, but part of what makes it great is it's so slowly rolling, but as it keeps rolling, it's like it's revving up, and then pow, it's just killer ending. Awesome stuff.
Oh, it's a retro Pete and the chat. You know, the guy who posts retro.
Oh, Oldie 27?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hello there. Welcome to Miss Smart Muses. I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, let's listen then. 07? I'm not sure I get that reference. Oh, finally, I can hear you, Steve. Cheers, Pete Z. Oh, Pete Z. Yes, I follow you too. Yeah, great account. So happy to see you here. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. Yes, he speaks English better than all of us do, and it's the only time I've ever doubted my faith in the Almighty is that he gave someone the ability to speak English this well. In their second language.
English in school.
Well, I had German in school, and I don't speak that well, I promise you. They actually beg me to speak English when I go to Germany. Steve gets it. Ha ha ha. Yes, but I know, but trust me, you speak English very well. Fistful never gets old. Watched on my flight last year. Ah, excellent. Thank you both. Well, thank you. And everyone, if you do not already follow him on Twitter, I mean, it's really good X or whatever content, because as we all know, sometimes content is not as good as it should be. It's full of clickbait, rage bait, all of that stuff and silliness. But in this case, you will not get this, and you will get some really, really good material. So let me make sure I put this in the chat. If you do not.
He's all about retro games, which is, I swing by his profile every day.
Mm-hmm. And I think, Steve, you often send me links to his Yes. There
Yeah.
you go. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Yep. Thank you, Norporeal. Yes, I think you will definitely be happier for it because this is another thing that we like to do with like the cowboy campfire and the book things that we do together or that I do is giving you examples of good entertainment to watch. You do not ever need to be guilted, shamed, or stuck watching crap entertainment. And that if you go backwards, you usually can never go wrong.
Well, it's kind of easy, to figure out because if you're walking along a road, right, and all of a sudden the road ahead of you is full of shit, like actual shit, most people would simply turn around and go back instead of just stepping through it, right? So
Hmm.
when upcoming entertainment is shit, just turn around and consume the old stuff. It was good for a reason and it hasn't gone away.
Nope, not one little bit. So good times. Yeah, and I just subbed to your channel. Not a lot of content, but that's okay. It looks like it's going to be some good stuff. And of course, please subscribe to Nordporial. Nordporial, feel free to go ahead and put your link in the chat because that's also some good nerdy discussions going on. I will pop on. Probably eventually I'll be going back on for another Chillporial. He and I have been going through the Wheel of Time, which of course is something everyone should watch and read. Definitely do not watch under any circumstances the TV show and don't even hate watch it. Oh, you can't hate watch anymore. Yeah, it kills your soul, doesn't it? It's just bleh. It just you know.
I'll sometimes watch just to see, because I'm thinking it can't be that bad, and then I watch it and it's worse, you
Yes.
know. But like I said, even with TV shows and movies, just go back.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I told you to watch Predator and you'd never seen it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And before anyone hates, remember, I'm a girly girl that watches bonnet movies. That's a lot of what I was doing in the 80s. So I did watch things like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and all of those. But I was definitely watching all those miniseries that were really good back then. But definitely action was not my thing. But holy crud, I seen the first three. And I think those are the only three worth watching. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Um, the one with the Native American lady wasn't that bad. That one was actually pretty good, but break it, it it breaks continuity though.
Yeah. I know that you've told me of that. Yeah. So in any case, definitely do that. Oh, look who it is. It is Salty Traveling. See, let me see. Okay. It is important to stop consuming propaganda current content. Its purpose is to demoralize and erode the canon and morality of Western civilization. Darn right. Darn right. That's why when people are all, oh, will they ever learn? It's like, no, they know. They know exactly what they are doing. And that's why they've been so systematic about it. And they want to hear from us about, oh, look what you're doing. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. And they're like laughing. They're laughing. Now, that doesn't mean that occasionally they don't need to be called out. I have done so, but do not let it consume you. Do not make it part of your day. And I think one of the antidotes is what we're doing today. Immerse yourself into great entertainment. The way that they train counterfeit people, like people that find counterfeit money, is they don't show them a bunch of fakes and don't make them touch a bunch of fakes. They do it with the real deal. So you recognize it. Whether it is great movies, whether it is great art, whether it is great music, like classical music. I keep telling people, I know if you're not used to it, it might be hard to get into, but do one of two things. Go see when they have Beethoven's Fifth, something that you already know, and you will hear it live and you will never be the same. Or go to one of those deals where they're showing the movie and the symphony orchestra is playing the music. That will also give you the same idea. Like Star Wars, they do that. They do it with the Harry Potter. They're doing it with Fellowship of the Ring. So, okay. Oh,
And they should do it with the Clint Eastwood Dollars trilogy.
I'll tell you what, I think they're going to do more. I recently saw it with Blade Runner. For the first time, I watched Blade Runner with like a synthesizer and a few, like a bass and a drums and a vocalist and a saxophone player. That was basically all it was, because that's what was part of it. And oh, it was badass. They're doing it with Twilight. I know people make fun of Twilight, but that's has great music. So I think they might be doing it, and I might be talking to when if you let your theaters know, if you let your local orchestra know that these are things that you'd be interested in, they will do more of that, because I think that that's what's keeping a lot of symphonies alive right now, is bringing in normies to watch the score. So that's a long way of saying immerse yourself in authenticity. I hate those people. You are pissing off the right people. Uh-huh.
I just call them retard and move on. I mean, because I've tried to have discussions. I've tried to explain, hey, this is wrong because look at this. It doesn't work.
No.
It really doesn't.
And it doesn't work because they don't want to. And then sadly, people on our side, if you will, if we have a side, starting to wonder, it's all grifting, and they know better. Like when they start to use those same tactics, and then you realize that they're really grifters. They don't really are immersed in this, but no one in particular. Definitely, I'm not calling. I am definitely not going to be calling out anyone in particular, but you see it. You see it. Oh wait, just a second. My mom was yelling, but she wasn't yelling at me. She's yelling at her phone, trying to find it. Okay, last thing I played on piano was Beethoven's Pathetique Third Movement. Classical European music is timeless. It is indeed. Holy crud, that is not an easy piece. That has like 5-6 flats in it. I love playing it though. It makes you feel like good. It's like very relaxing. And if you can play classical music, which was what I do, it's the only time I felt like I get lifted out of my body. Definitely the best out-of-body experience I played was when I played Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. Wait, just a second. My mom's still. Now she's yelling at me that she found it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm with my mama. So good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. I literally default to watching old Doctor Who or Westerns free on Tubi. It grounds and resets your brain from the current hell that is reality. Damn right. Yeah, Stieg is right in his approach. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was the approach I settled on after everything else was proven to have failed. So.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're all losing our minds over Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because it actually is old fashioned and, if you will, old fashioned, like positive masculinity and good stuff. Tubi is definitely gold, but that's for another discussion, because of course that's all I've been talking about forever. We are now talking about A Fistful of Dollars. It was a movie made in 1964, and yes, I'm using cheat material. I'm not doing this off the top of my head. A nameless opportunist gunfighter, Clint, arrives in a desolate Mexican border town of San Miguel, which is torn apart by a violent feud between the Baxters and the Rojos. I probably mispronounced that. Rojos. There we go. The stranger played both families against each other for profit, ultimately destroying them and restoring a form of peace. And allegedly, it was heavily inspired by Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo.
Kurosawa.
Thank you. So there we go. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And as I said, it does start off very slowly, but it just keeps building and building. I love it when he arrives. The man with no name arrives in town. Of course, Clint Eastwood, who is just iconic. He arrives in town, and some guys are like talking shit to him, and he just kind of ignores them. And what is it that he says when they're coming out? Like something about his mule, like you're laughing at my mule, or my mule is laughing at you.
Yeah, they were shooting at the ground next to him too, weren't they? And laughing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. He basically says he wants them to apologize to his mule.
That's what it is. Yes. And they're just like, huh, 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 huh. And then he just goes, bam, 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 bam. And it's just like, damn it. So it's a great start to the movie. I just absolutely love it. Yeah, Order 3 coffins. Have either of you seen that movie? I have not. No, I'm sure it's good.
No, I've not seen it either. I've also not seen Seven Samurai, which the Magnificent Seven is based on. So
Yeah.
I'm lagging behind on Asian movies.
Maybe that'd be a fun thing to do eventually to go there, but I'm just consuming the normal ones for now. And I
The
liked it.
the bald guy in Seven Samurai keeps rubbing his head. Um, George Lucas had Yoda do the same as an homage to Seven Samurai.
Mm, yeah, George Lucas loved that kind of stuff, and definitely you can see it in the Star Wars. It is John005. Thank you for being here. And by the way, all you coming in, if you do not know, I do have memberships now. So if you'd like to support the channel that way, you will for 99 cents, that's basically supporting the channel, and you'll get shout outs, etc., and shares. So says the stranger arrives, kills 4 men. Oh yeah, he initiates a game, quote unquote, of selling false information to both the Baxter and Rojo families. Yeah, they're kind of whether gangsters or they're family rivals, and yeah, he messes around with them. And what he does is, it says here, he witnesses the Rojos massacre Mexican soldiers to steal a gold shipment, which is something straight out of Red Dead Redemption or the game that we're playing, which is great, or the other way around. And then manipulates both families into a showdown by planting bodies to make them appear alive. Yes. I nearly died when that happened. I thought that was so cool. Yes. So good time.
He also punches a chick.
Oh,
Did
you like?
Yeah, he thought it was someone sneaking up on him, right? And
Oh yes.
yeah. John Wayne didn't like the Clint Eastwood movies that much because the Clint Eastwood kind of broke the Western rules a bit because Clint Eastwood would shoot people in the back,
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff, and he would cheat and all that stuff. And John Wayne apparently didn't like that.
Not honorable. Well, before we continue, we do have a new member. We have a new member here at Miss Martin Muses, a new muser of House Rose. It is Nordporial. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting the channel and all of that. And everyone, please go subscribe to him. And thank you very much. Yay, that brings me up to 6. And it really does help me. I know people say, how does it help you make new content? It really does. It really does. And so I thank you for that. Every penny counts. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, it's John005. Is this the one where they start with a coffin, start of the film? Yeah, they start with a coffin. And then, yeah, there's more coffins. Yes, Stieg is correct about John Wayne Strong.
He doesn't have to say I'm correct. Everyone knows I'm always correct anyway. So kind of redundant, salty.
What were you right about? Oh, you were right with me about the stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And buying an Xbox.
And quitting my job as a teacher. How many?
Red Dead and Skyrim.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Salty Traveling Sea says Eastwood got paid about $157,000 in 2026 dollars. Okay, so adjusted for inflation for his part in Fistful. The money went on to make almost $200 million in 2026 dollars. Yeah, it was a huge success at the time. I think it was Italy's biggest success, like, because it was an Italian film. That's the whole spaghetti Western thing. I think it made like 4 million, whatever they call it. And in America, it also made about 4 or 5 million, but it wasn't released till several years later, apparently because of some apparent conflict between the Japanese movie, from what I understand. I'm coming out of ignorance, so please, I'm a normie. If I get any of my facts wrong, I will not hunt you down if you correct me. Yes, exactly. Norporial says it's also because spaghetti westerns are darker and the whole anti-hero trope. That is correct. Damn right you will. He's going to restart Red Dead and play it through. It's
play both of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and if you play the second one and pay attention to every time Mac Calendar is mentioned, you might spot who the next intended protagonist is.
Uh-huh. Yeah, one of these days we're going to do a stream just devoted to it.
But
Definitely.
they have a new writer now, though, so it could be that they changed everything. I don't know. But Red Dead 2 does set up the next protagonist.
Mhm. Okay, Dollars Trilogy money funded Malpaso Studios. I believe it. Yes. I played one, loved it. Oh yes, John Marshall. Well, then you'll love the second one. As everyone knows, I cried like a baby at the end. It was not just one of the best video games I've ever played, but one of the best westerns I've experienced. It really good. Oh, of course, the sequel, Salty Traveling Sea, is talking about. I love a fistful, but a few dollars more has Lee Van Cleef, who is incredible as a good guy. Total opposite of good, bad, and ugly. Oh yes, I'm planning to definitely watch the sequels. That's what's also fun about all of these. As I get introduced, and I'm like, okay, now I need to watch the next ones, and I have the next ones because I get a lot of
Wait,
these at.
you've never seen them?
No, 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 no. This is my first time.
Oh shit! Oh, they get better and better.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah,
doesn't listen to me all the
the
time.
third one is easily the best, but uh, this one is superb. The next one is a little bit better, and then last one is like almost an 11 out of 10.
Mm. Well, there you go. As I was saying, somebody doesn't listen to me. Yeah. Though you got, it's okay. You don't have to listen to me. I'll just be petty about it for 200 years. As the ending of Red Dead was tough, but you have no idea. No idea. No spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, we're gonna shut up now. Red Dead 2 is god tier. Oh hell yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So
Before I played Red Dead 2, um, I would have said The Witcher 3 was the best game I've ever played, and I've played games since late 80s. You know, beaten hundreds of them. But The Witcher 3 was the best I've ever played, and then Red Dead 2 came along, and yeah, this was actually better.
hmm yeah. No, the way I did it was I played Redemption 2 first and then Red Dead Redemption 1. So I watched it chronologically, but not chronologically how it came out. But you know what is not chronological, or rather is what's going on with the stranger, the man with no name, who the way he's playing these guys off of each other. And I just think it's just really cool. And then there's like this weird moment in the middle that it took me a while to figure out what was happening because I'm sometimes slow that way. There was some chick who was kidnapped by the Rojo guy, and as she is like in the middle of town, all of a sudden you see this little boy going, "Mama, mama," and then her husband's like, this man's like, "No, no, no, come back, come back," and he's like, "Mama," and she's crying. And as she gets, was it then the boy still runs out or something, and then she hugs him, and then they have to be parted. And the stranger is seeing this and apparently is moved, as much moved as he can, because of what we see after this. I don't know, Steve, were you going to be saying something about that?
Oh, when he beat the kid?
Oh, wait, what?
Or the kid that got beaten?
Oh, yes, that was at the beginning of the movie. No, I'm talking about when the little boy was running out after his mama, and we realized
Yeah, I
that
was
he was
just,
captured.
the one at the beginning. He
Yes.
was so whiny and loud. I was like, come on, keep beating him.
Oh no, we do not endorse that here at Miss
Little
Mark.
annoying piece of shit. Deserved it.
Wow. You only beat me, or you never beat me unless I deserved it. Yes, but I thought that that was a very humanizing moment when I realized that okay, this woman's a captive and the dad is there, and like so her husband and son, and then the man with no name, what he does is he goes to where they're partying or whatever, and basically goes a little bit medieval to allow her to escape. Then he nabs her by the arm and then is all, hey, you got to go. You got to go. Sends the three family off. So he reunites the family. So we do see that even though, as we were saying earlier, that there is a moral gray area perhaps in these kinds of stories, maybe too gritty, maybe anti-hero, that when he sees something that is just clearly wrong and he knows it's wrong, he won't put up with it.
Yeah.
So I also liked when he kind of broke into that house and the wife was upstairs and I forget his line, but it was so good. Said something about how he's not going to kill her, but I forget what it was. I mean, just all of his one-liners are so excellent in this. Let me see if I can find the line I'm thinking of. But one issue with this entire thing, as well as other Westerns I watched, I want to take a shower so badly because everyone is sweating and hot, and you know that everyone smells and their hair. So, yes, definitely. Let me see. What is the part I'm thinking of? See, oh
Did
yeah,
you
they
know
heard.
there's kind of a remake of this one?
Did they
Starring,
do?
yeah, it's set in the 20s or the 30s, starring Bruce Willis. It's the exact same plot. It's called Last Man Standing. It's an Italian gangster family versus an Irish one. So he basically plays both sides. It's got Christopher Walken and David Patrick Kelly is in it, and Farnham from Deadwood.
Ah,
Worth a watch.
oh, well, okay. Everyone, please take down note of these, and it will help you. I think. Um, no spoilers for a few dollars more and good, better than ugly. Okay, we won't. R2D2 and Witcher 3 are the only games I need.
It's not
Oh,
R2D2.
oh shit. Maybe I'm dyslexic. RDR2. I think you're right about that, except for me at Skyrim. I honestly cannot see any way that current AAA game makes anything even half as good. And Oldie is saying, for me, the biggest advantage of RDR2 is that we can do nothing in the game and still have a great time. Oh, yeah, I sit around, ride around, and hunt and cook and craft, even when we're standing by a stream and just looking around. Yes, it's definitely beautiful.
One guy who did, I saw this on YouTube. He had beaten the game, and at the end, you have a lot of money, and he just went from town to town on vacation and spent money. He played poker, blackjack, and then took the train to the next town and went fishing nearby and lived at the hotel. Just went across the whole map on vacation, which was awesome that someone would think about doing that, right?
Actually, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 2 is definitely, yes, the best one. So, in any case, oh yeah, I forgot that when this Marisol is her name, that when he went and kind of wrecked the place to free Marisol, he staged it to make it look like it was the Baxter. So I think every time he does something, he's making the other people think that's him or the other rival group. He's definitely playing off each other. And it says here, after Marisol leaves with her family, the Rojos eventually discovered that it was a stranger who freed Marisol. I know I'm saying it wrong. They capture and torture him, but he escapes. Yeah, this is where I felt like he was turning into Bruce Willis from Die Hard. I'm like, this man's a beast. This man's not human. He's excellent.
Bruce Willis played the character in that remake, didn't he?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I just said it earlier.
Oh, then I'm not listening to you. Damn nabbit, we're not listening to each other.
Last Man Standing. It's from 95 or 96, I think.
Okay, 95, 96. Yeah. I'm an octopus right now going through things. Okay, well, there you are. Holy shit, though. Yeah, I remember thinking, man, this dude. Believing that he is protected by the Baxters, the Rojos set fire to the Baxter home, massacring everyone, including Baxter's wife, as they flee the burning
Yeah,
building.
they shot her up,
It's
which is
awful.
something you never really saw in westerns before this. Women getting shot.
Mm, that's true. Yeah, it was considered. Well, you just didn't see it. You just didn't see women getting killed. Oh my gosh, yeah, and they shot her to. Yeah, it's just awful. I mean, imagine shooting someone as they're fleeing a burning building. That's also really low. I mean, not that there's ever a good time to kill somebody, but still. With help from the local coffin maker, the stranger escapes town by hiding in a coffin. Yay! And recuperates in an abandoned mine. And then when his name is Peripero, tells him that Silvanito has been captured and tortured by the Rojos for the stranger's whereabouts, he returns to town to confront them. With a steel chest plate hidden beneath his poncho, he taunts Ramon to aim for the heart. As Ramon's shots deflect until he exhausts his Winchester rifle's ammunition. Oh my gosh. I I was dying. I said, this is what it was all building up to. And then as the dude's like, oh, fuck, the stranger then uses Deadeye from that end scene in Red Dead Redemption 1 and kills all the other guys around him, all the rest of his little gang. And they just drop. He goes so fast. And I was just cheering. It was just so much fun. Why, hello, Cam's Crash Course 6223. Great to see you here.
Would you agree that Clint Eastwood kind of slightly topped John Wayne when it came to being a Western icon? 'Cause John Wayne
Oh,
had a lot of them, but Clint Eastwood maybe had more iconic ones, didn't he?
yes. I think in the case of John Wayne that he was first, if you will, but
Yeah.
also different. So, you can't quite compare them because they're both iconic in their own way. But when it comes to things you can quote, even without having watched these, yeah, Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood with his poncho and his little cigar it sticks with you.
Yeah, John Wayne tended to play John Wayne a lot, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and some of John Wayne's movies are fantastic, but then you have a bunch of them that are rather mediocre too, and a few bad ones. So it's like Clint Eastwood was more quality over quantity, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was also from a different era of filmmaking.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood basically showed up right when there was a shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, even to this day, one of my favorite movies, my favorite westerns is High Noon, and that's not either of them. I think that that's just a great, great movie, and I love it.
Have you seen the man who shot Liberty Valance? With
No,
oh, get it watched.
yeah.
Him and James Stewart. It's probably a 10 out of 10.
Oh, I love Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, I'm really a normie when it comes to westerns because for the most part, the westerns I know Lonesome Dove, I know Unforgiven, and anything that basically Robert Duvall did afterwards. But I've never watched like the old classics, or if I have, High Noon was one of the only ones, and I just really love it. So I've been definitely getting into learning about them. Okay, so Cigarillo, yeah. See, I don't know my tobacco. What can I say? Cam's Crash Course 6223 says Wayne was always the hero. Eastwood was his mirror reflection as the anti-hero.
Yeah, because John Wayne's characters never really had any bad traits.
Mm-hmm.
He was almost too perfect of a human being sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Doing John Ford movies with huge budgets is vastly different than shoot strong budget with wacko Italians. And
Yeah.
maybe that's why they were so good, because they were all crazy in the best sense of the word. Oh my gosh, yes. All right. So after he takes them all down like that, he says one of my favorite lines ever that I didn't even know was going to become one of my favorite lines. I'd never heard it before. I don't know what planet I've been on, and I'm definitely cheating when I'm reading this quote. Wrong quote. When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, you said, the man with the pistol's a dead man. Let's see if that's true. Go ahead. Load up and shoot. I just I just can't. I just can't. I love that so much. I was
They kind of let lines like that carry over into the Dirty Harry franchise as well.
mhm.
But they make them even more gritty in that one.
Yes, because the whole you must be asking yourself, do you I feel lucky if I've got 6 shots. And so the way they just stare each other down, and he had his pistol in his hand, but since the dude had his Winchester on the ground, he throws his pistol on the ground. And they have their ammunition there in their hands, and they look at each other, and then they go and they're like loading up, and then boom, they shoot. And of course, Clint Eastwood wins, but the tension and the catharsis when that happens. I was ignorant. I did not know that was going to be happening. Okay. And so I was just like, I'm here back in my back room. My folks are already asleep. And I'm like, oh, I cheering, and oh my gosh. And it was just so
Just
cool.
you wait until you get to the third one.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a masterpiece.
Oh,
It
wait.
really.
I'm sorry. I've seen The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
I thought you hadn't seen any of them.
Well, I didn't realize that was part of the trilogy.
It is,
Oh, it's the same. Oh, shoot. I'm going to feel really stupid.
because he has no name in that one either. They just call him Blondie, but it's not his name.
Oh, so I'm just ignorant, and I'm like, it's like he plays the same character. It's because he is. Please don't shoot me, or please don't hate me in the chat. Okay, I'm a normie. You know what? Steve doesn't know shit about Jane Austen. Okay, so
Well, I've seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yes, you have. Well, you watched the miniseries because that was my Valentine's challenge last year. But yes. So to make a long story short, don't hate me for my ignorance. But I will admit my ignorance. I won't pretend I know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm sorry I interrupted you in the middle of that, because you said because that Mexican standoff in Good, Bad, and the Ugly, yeah, that was definitely something. But this, I don't know. Maybe it's because
The villain in The Good, Bad, the Ugly is a good guy in the next movie from number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a few dollars more. So he's on Clint's team in that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, look who it is. It's a Star Wars Scran. Fantastic to see you. Actually, I love the trilogy. Well, yes, indeed we do. Except I need to watch the middle one now. Apparently, I didn't even know I was watching the third one. The Searchers, one could say Wayne's character was obsessive, says Salty Traveling Sea, but with very good reason.
Yeah.
Star Wars Scran says a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and the Good, and the Bad, the Ugly equals the dollars trilogy. Okay, well, thank you. I'm now. Well, you know what? I know, and ignorance. But I can tell you, Dagnabbit, what happened in 1192 in the Middle Ages in England and in the Crusades. So there.
That counts too.
It does. I'm a historian, damn it, and a musician, and I can crochet. But I'm working on it. But there is some truth to the stereotype that there are some things that are genuinely targeted towards men, the same way there's stuff targeted towards women, and trying to blend it doesn't ever work. Now it can cross over. Like, for example, I'm loving this. I love Star Wars, of course, obviously the 6 Star Wars movies. There are only 6, but ultimately it's geared toward male entertainment. the same way dudes can watch Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen movies, but in general, it is definitely aimed toward women. Right. Oh, the Cam's Crash Course 6223 says the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance was very unusual for its time, with Wayne playing a character with some moral ambiguity. Stagecoach and Liberty are probably his best work, except for The Quiet Man. Okay, these are great suggestions. I really appreciate this. Star Wars Grant says, technically you should watch them backwards in terms of continuity. Well, I guess I've kind of done it right. I'm now just got the middle one left. He has a name and a few dollars more, Manco. Oh, well, there you are. Yeah, so that was one killer of an ending. And that's basically the end of it, because he just kind of walks out after that. It's like done his work. And the other guy who'd kind of, was it the coffin maker? Was that the guy at the end? Again, I don't know these names very well, but, just kind of chills out and yeah. Let's see. There's some really good lines. This is frankly taken from a site, so here we are. Yeah, the whole "get 3 coffins ready" is a great line. And the dead can be very useful sometimes. They've helped me out of tough spots more than once. First, they don't talk. Second, they look alive if I manage it. And third, if you shoot them, there's no worry because they're dead already. And the Silvanito guy says, I know, you have no money. After all, you just got into town. But if you don't mind doing a little killing, you will have no trouble finding someone eager to pay you. Mm-hmm. And then Silvanito also says they've enlisted all the scum that hangs around both sides of the frontier, and they pay in dollars. Gosh, I want to watch this again. I finished it last night, and it was Ash Wednesday, and I was hallucinating, so I need to watch it like straight through again.
Probably a trilogy that's worth getting on, in 4K, because it's ridiculously rewatchable.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Well, I'm gonna make my dad watch the showdown at the end, because of course he's seen it, but it's been forever. And it's like, because he loves those one-liners. He used to quote the thing from the thing from not Death Wish, what the hell is it, Dirty Harry. He used to quote that to us all the time when we were kids. And it's like, I guess you're wondering about what's in here. It's like, do you feel lucky, punk? We thought that was awesome. Yeah, Wayne scene was unforgettable. Star Wars Grant says, I think the second one is the best personally. Oh, then I look forward to that. Certainly I do. Yeah. And that's really it. I mean, it's not very plot heavy, but rolling boulder is another way of doing it. Yeah, when you see in those cartoons, when they start off with a little snowball on top of a mountain, and then it rolls and it rolls and it gets bigger and bigger, and then it's just like a force of nature. That's how I felt this movie went, and it put Clint Eastwood on the map, because if I am correct, I might have said this earlier, but I'm not entirely sure, this was his first Western, or the first famous Western that he did.
Yeah,
when he started.
He had been on Western shows and stuff, I think. I think he had been on an episode of Rawhide.
Okay. Well. Yeah, like a lot of these guys, they'd been on those shows. Okay, that makes sense to me. The Searchers is also one of the greatest. Yeah, I've heard of that that's considered one of the greatest. So many good films.
That one's really good. And Rio Bravo is awesome.
Well, I did get at an estate sale a whole collection of John Wayne movies on disc. So there you go. Yeah, I go to half-price bookstores and estate sales. They're great. They're morbid, but they're great. Eastwood took over cowboy movies and blazed a new path for them. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. Breaking the mold and establishing himself as an icon, in my opinion. Yeah. And then all movies from there on out, Westerns, followed a lot of that pattern. And in general, it, pretty much worked. And then Lonesome Dove came on the scene, and that was definitely very different, but very good. I'm glad you liked it. Oh yeah, I liked it. You see, that's why I enjoy doing these with Steve, because we kind of give recommendations to each other, and it's things that either we haven't seen or things that maybe we haven't seen in a while, and it's helping discover entertainment that I would not know. Like, I don't know if I would have watched this, to be honest, if it hadn't been the one that I decided to choose. And I remember from Star Trek The Next Generation, there was an episode called A Fistful of Datas. And it's like, A Fistful of Dollars. Well, I've never seen it. I've heard it's a classic. So that's why I chose this one. So I'm glad I did. So this is forcing me to find ones I haven't seen. In general, that's what I choose. And I think Steve chooses ones that I haven't seen as well, that's kind of part of it. But it's not like we have any set rules, because we're very casual here at Miss Martin Muses. We can do whatever the hell we want. Okay, Rawhide as the ramrod for first season. That makes sense. It got him later successes in movie. The snooty Italian movie critics hated A Fistful of Dollars, and American ones were divided. Yeah, well, that makes sense. It's true even today in a different sense. If the people like it, they don't like it. I remember when the critics panned the Phantom of the Opera and the whole planet was going crazy over it. And I'm sitting there being 13 and going, what's wrong with these people? And then I learned, bunch of snobs. It was Worf Alexander Troy holodeck episode. Meh. Aw, I liked it. Rawhide character named Rowdy Yates. That's a great character name. Holy crud. Yeah, we have a lot of good character names in our D&D game, or a lot of Western ones. What Truman West is one that Steve came up with. Yeah, John Wayne thought they were too violent, says Star Wars Grand. He actually refused to be in a movie with Eastwood because of it. Oh, interesting. Well, I could see that. John Wayne was from a different era. That's just all there is to it. He was born, hell, I think he might have been even born in the 19th century. Let me see. When was John Wayne born?
I think he was.
Yeah. Because he would have been in his 60s, 70s, and still would have been.
No, he was born in 1907.
Okay, 1907. But same idea. So when John Wayne was born, that was when women were still wearing dresses and corsets, and boys were still wearing suspenders and little hats, and we hadn't had World War I, we hadn't had World War II. And by the time the 60s came around, I mean, look at the way the world was. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, definitely a different perspective. Yeah. But like I said, that's it. Oh, I came up with the wrong quotes. Now a bunch of the Duke quotes are coming. I think that's really all the good the things that I'm coming up here on my cheat sheet. So that is A Fistful of Dollars. Now, Steve, of course, you know a lot of these things better than I do. Is there something that I missed, that I glossed over, that you believe that we need to linger on a little bit from this movie?
The music.
Hell yes! I am a guitard. I'm the musician on the panel, and I know this composer, Ennio Morricone, and it's an iconic score. It's amazing.
It's a 10 out of 10, and it certainly enhances the movie.
It's one of those things, like when I'm watching it, I'm like, I've heard this music before. I can't tell you where, but I probably heard it a million times.
So something just struck me, though. This trilogy kind of changed the Western genre and basically changed Hollywood quite a bit too when it came out. And it was supplemented by superb music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like similar to what the Star Wars trilogy did. Very similar.
Yes. Brought back
so the Dollars trilogy is kind of like the Star Wars trilogy of the 60s.
Yeah, and for the Western genre, I think that's a fair comparison, including like the music. Yeah, because even today, movie soundtracks use leitmotif, and use full symphony orchestras. And Jaws, one could argue, used leitmotif obviously with Jaws, but in general, it was made to perfection in the Star Wars A New Hope. And then, of course, with the rest of his movies. Now we expect it. All right. Salty Traveling Sea says when the movie was first shown on ABC broadcast TV in 1975, it had a 4.5-minute prologue warning of and rationalizing the violence of the movie. What the hell? A different era. Wow. Nordporial saying that I think Jordan took some inspiration from John Wayne Westerns. I don't know, but I keep forgetting that now I can watch interviews with Robert Jordan and watch Wheel of Time content. I was so afraid of being spoiled, I didn't. Agreed. Oh, okay. Are you agreeing with us about the scores, or are you agreeing about the Wheel of Time? Because Star Wars Grand, if you have not read the Wheel of Time, oh my gosh, you're missing out. It's I just this I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And now because of the Wheel of Time, because I dedicated myself to reading it in 1 year, I'm reading light material right now. Like for example, I'm reading some more of the Dritz. When I say light meaning not as big in scope. Like you don't have to get out charts and look up an index to understand what's going on. And I've been reading some Louis L'Amour westerns. Holy crud, are they good? And they're short. So it's very nice to read those. I'm also reading what is it? Oh, of course, I'm into the Hedge Knight because of the TV show, which everyone should watch, in my humble opinion. Also, reading Wuthering Heights, etc., the classics, because they keep butchering all these great classics. So I am going back to the originals. I'm reading their brothers Karamazov Tov. I can't even pronounce it, for Lent. So good times, good times. I read a lot of different things, and I think it's good for you. Good to diversify our entertainments. And I'm likely going to be rereading the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy pretty soon. I love all the Man with No Name movies, says Salty Traveling Sea, but honestly, a few dollars more deserves a lot more love. Okay, well, you know what? I got to watch it then. Hell yeah. They have it on, I have it, so I can watch it. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know if I'll get around to it. Things are quite busy around here. Things are quite busy, but we shall see. So, yeah, the music. Everything that you said there is correct. And of course, I got first introduced to, I hope I'm saying it's right, Ennio Morricone with the Mission soundtrack, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Gabriel's oboe, all of that. So we went over the music, we went over the badass lines, we went over just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, but now I just want to watch the others. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Salty Traveling Sea says, I'm reading Total Junk Food at the moment as well. The Dresden Files, taking a break from big series, dark and epic fantasy. It's a palate cleanser. Oh, yes, the Dresden Files. I plan to get back into them. Indeed, indeed.
I'm on book 3, reading. Well, doing the audiobooks. The guy who plays Spike on Buffy is the guy reading it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I read the first one. Yeah, I plan to get back into them. And Prophet of the Dragon on his channel, he got to interview the author, which was like, whoa, talk about a get for an interview. So if you want to watch that interview, I did not watch most of it because I didn't want to be spoiled. But when I get caught up, I will. So I plan to hit some Dresden Files as well. But I want to finish the Starry Night. Well, not the Starry Night, rather the Legend of the Drow. There's 5 books in that from the
4.
Dritz books. There's 4?
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Never mind. I was thinking of the Cleric Quintet, which also was really good. So then I will be getting into that. Yeah, Kim's Crash Course is 6223. Sorry, Wayne and Eastwood were gods in my grandpa's house or granddad's house. I've seen both Gent movies all my life, dozens and dozens of times. Oh, no, sorry, and eat it. That is an amazing thing. Yeah, and I mean they're gods, and I just can't believe that Eastwood is still with us. The fact that he is as active and doing what he's doing at 94, and I think he's up to 95 at this point. I can't keep track. He's just unbelievably old and unbelievably active. Because a lot of people at that age, like they're like in the nursing home or they have dementia or in wheelchairs, and he's still directing. It's crazy. Let's see, how old is he now? Yeah, I have it heavy on my heart that we just lost Robert Duvall, but then again, the dude was 95. I mean, he lived quite the life. Let's see. Does it say here? It says he was born in 1930. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, the things that they have seen. I think about that with my dad too. He's a literal boomer. He was born the year after the World War II ended. He is now he's 95 too. Wow, they're all 95. Salty Traveling Sea says, I read the first Dresden book about 15 years ago. It remains decent. Book 2, Full Moon, seems far better written so far. Yeah, I think as he goes along, it's good. But yeah, when you look at what he is and what he's trying to deliver, he doesn't have to be like the greatest author that ever lived. And I think it's quirky and fun, but definitely I look forward to writing. The best way to improve your writing is to write. That's what I always tell people. Write. Just sit and write. Even if you're just going to
Also,
write.
also read. You know what Terry Brooks said. The
Mm,
best, because I read his biography writing book.
mm,
If you can't be a writer if you don't read,
yeah.
and he said, what you have to do is read, 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 write, 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 repeat, repeat, repeat.
Amen. Yeah.
Very simple, but very true.
Yeah. And even if what you're writing, even if you can't think of what to write, hell, just write about what you had for breakfast. Either way, you're writing. Write about your favorite coffee. Write about, I don't know, I'm sitting right outside looking at the beach and there's some asshole fishing while other people are swimming. I could write about that. Right. Just sit down and write even for 30 minutes. It's good for you. And as far as read, yes, read, 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 read. Definitely read the classics, but also read comics. Read read trashy romance novels or whatever it is. But as long as you're reading, go ahead and do so. Though I don't think anyone in my chat here reads romance novels, but maybe they do. Come out of the closet. Let me hear. Outlaw Josie Wales era, says Salty Traveling Sea. Outlaw Josie Wales era was the next evolution of Westerns, and it's fascinating to see it flow to Unforgiven. I think that that's accurate, yes. Mm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Westerns the one area that has remained untouched by the woke virus?
Uh, Mostly.
Yeah. That and Conan the Barbarian. He's safe.
Yeah. Red Sonja isn't though.
Ugh, I know. It's like they have to ruin every cool woman character. It's like, hey, we like Red Sonja just the way she was.
Yeah, they made her. Well, Gail Simone got to be in charge of Red Sonja for a while, and Red Sonja basically can't sleep with a guy unless he beats her in fair combat, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise, she'll lose her powers. So Gail Simone made her a lesbian. That way, she's not sleeping with a man.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Salty Traveling Sea is recommending Silverado. Well, funny you said that because I think that's definitely in the future.
Silverado is awesome.
Yep. Oh, and Buddy Hepburn is here. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Kim Crash Courses 6223 says, I'm reading the Doctor Who War Doctor series, a history on Japan, and just finished a reread of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Night is the best thing on TV for myself. Great adaptation, hero's journey. Yes. So far, it is easily the best TV fantasy we've had since maybe the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. And we just pray that HBO will continue to ignore them and just keep sucking the you know what of House of the Dragon and leave Dunk and Egg alone. I just love the fact that we have a fantasy that allowed the leads to be men, left it that way. And there was a weird flashback that, as the showrunner says, he hated that he had to do it, but he had to do it. So we know what that means. So I just pretend it didn't happen. But besides that, you've got it. Positive masculinity and seeing all those good men. Now, when I say good men, let me rephrase that. Good warriors, like great warriors in some cases, grown ass men beating the shit out of each other. Basically, the side for good fighting for honor. And even the other side, they weren't necessarily fighting for that piece of shit Aryan, but it was like they had to. So in a way, it was strangely honor for them too. Just great stuff. And I love Egg more than everything. Everything. Salty Traveling Sea says, I'm going to meet and get Gail Simone to sign the worst comics book she's written at a con in March. I'll take pics. Oh, dear. Yeah. Yeah. Salty Traveling Sea says, I love that House of the Dragon is getting zero love and outright scorn. Well earned. Yes. Can we pause a moment, though, for we were there first. We were there before it was cool to say how much House of the Dragon was garbage. We were there first. Everyone else was still too afraid to come out and say it because they wanted to have this narrative about it's better
it's
than
because
Rings
some bigger YouTubers liked it, therefore everyone sucked up to the bigger YouTubers saying they liked it too.
Yes. But the big YouTubers, in my humble opinion, wanted that narrative because whenever there's like something that shit, they always want to do something counter. And in this case, it was counter to the Rings of Power. So they glommed onto it too much. Now, I would be the biggest liar on planet Earth if I didn't say that there were many, many things I praised about House of the Dragon season 1, but there were many things I did not praise. But man, the people that still pretended in season 2, yes. And yes. But then all of a sudden, now that Night of the Seven Kingdoms is doing what it's doing, and George has actually come out and said exactly what we were saying. And when I say we, and the reason is because Salty Traveling Sea was also one of them as well, and so was Steve and I. We were saying it. Kurt and Christy, we were saying it all on the stream. Sporking Stream was saying it, and it's like we were shouting into the void, but that's okay because we were right. And this is why you have to be true to yourself. And yes. I love it. And of course, what we're hearing, what they're doing with House of the Dragon is going to be even worse because they had to cuck. They had to cuck Daemon, the best character. They hated the fact that everyone loved the man. I wonder why. We could have been loving the women, but they decided they didn't have the courage to write them correctly. They're so afraid to make women look toxic that they actually made them boring. Preach, Miss Martin. Darn right. Cam's Crash Course says Silverado is one of the best in cowboy genre post 1970s. I think you would agree with that, Steve. You love it.
Oh, yeah. Also, honorable mention to The Long Riders, which is freaking amazing. It's a Jesse James movie. It probably has one of the most brutal shootouts in Western history. And there's a lot to be said about the two Young Guns movies as well.
What I really liked about that movie was they actually had real siblings playing the siblings, and I thought that that was really cool. That
Yeah.
was really cool. Salty Traveling Sea says, honesty and not being a low IG. Oh, clout chasing parasite grifter novel concept on YouTube. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I understand if you were when you're making that kind of money, it's straight up like the devil coming to you with Jesus in the desert saying, I will give you all of this kingdom if you but bow down and worship me. Don't take that out of context, say they're worshiping demons, but I understand temptation and I know when money is literally dropping in your lap, it's very easy to say, you know what, I'm going to get on YouTube and just say what brings me money. I understand it. I don't always accept it because I unfortunately watched A Man for All Seasons back in the early 90s and it destroyed my life because I realized that you have to be true to your conscience no matter what. Oh, everyone's agreeing with each other. Yay, we love it when people. Oh, you're talking about Gail Simone. I hope you get a picture of her sadness. I don't know, though. Won't you be happy, though? Don't you have to pay for those autographs?
Yeah, well, given a picture of her, doesn't it have to be an aerial photo to get all of her?
We do not endorse that. I know what you mean. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Buddy Hepburn, for a few dollars more, is my favorite of the trilogy, and like Once Upon a Time in the West more than those first Sergio Leone westerns. Oh, okay. Salty Traveling says season 1 was mostly solid, but episode 5 was woke trash, and I called it out then. Was that the episode where the gay guy, they pretended not to kill him? Or they didn't kill him, like they were afraid to kill the gay guy? I remember that. Yeah, but again, there were snippets of goodness in it, but they completely ruined it. And I did document it at the time, thank goodness, because then people can't say that I changed my mind. Buddy Hepburn said, I haven't watched the new series. I figured they would make a decent first season and a bad follow-up based on House of the Dragon. You know, that's always a possibility. I don't think so, though, because they're already halfway through filming season 2, unless they interfere. But I don't think they will, because if it's one thing these dickheads like, it's money, and it was very, very, very cheap to make this series. If they do, well, then I'll just call it out when it happens. In my head, though, I can go from first season to the next season, just like the novelists. Like, you can just read The Hedge Knight and it doesn't need a sequel. It's not demanding a sequel. You can end it there. Same thing with the second one. Same thing with the third one. That's why I don't mind if he quote unquote finishes them or not, because it's not like A Song of Ice and Fire where it is required. So that's what I'll do with season 2. The same way that I was able to pretend in episode 5, the flashback didn't happen. It was just a fight. For my entertainment, I can get that. But we shall see. We shall see. I think we've all been saying season 2 is where they do the bait and switch. We shall see. Speaking of Cowboy Ensemble, Peck and Paws, The Wild Bunch, The Long Riders, also excellent. Yes, Long Riders, and yes, Wild Bunch. That was what we did for last month's Cowboy Campfire. I think that was Steke's movie. He had me watch that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. That shootout at the end is insane.
Oh, I did not know this. I find this interesting, Salty Traveling Sea. Nope. Kelly Sue was free. Gail's first is free. $5 for the second signing. I'm only bringing 2 horrifying bad books for lols. Oh, and the reason why I'm saying curious, this means that they're in need of people to buy them. So they're kind of luring you in, like hoping, okay, you'll get the free, then you'll buy one. It always works for me at Ulta, at the makeup store, but signings, no. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I wouldn't judge you, to be honest. I don't judge people with how they spend their money. I do not. Because if that's what you wanted to do, that's what you want to do. And you're not going to make or break Gail Simone. You're not going to make or break even HBO or something. But I do believe that positive reaction will help. what also is helping with the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is the fact that George is so on board with this because they were faithful for him. They don't want him calling them out the way he called out House of the Dragon. I honestly think that. And this Ira dude, he came from House of the Dragon, but he was only in season 1. I think that we could all agree that House of the Dragon season 1 got Damon perfectly, Damon, and the King. That was a good example of where you expand on a role but without changing it. Cam's Crash Course 6223. Once Upon a Time with Fonda, also a great performance and visually stunning. Bronson was also amazing. Ah, yes. Quick and
Yes.
the Dead is a fun watch too. Oh, hell yeah. Steve had me watch that back in the day.
The Quick and the Dead is awesome. It's like a blood sport, but with guns.
Yeah, had not Gary Oldman, the guy from Forrest Gump. They had
Gary
him.
Sinise.
Yeah, Gary Sinise had a minor role in that before he became really big and just
Imagine like Gary Sinise, his character Lieutenant Dan, celebrating Thanksgiving with Forrest Gump, and they're cutting up the turkey, and they look at him and go, "Hey, you want a leg?"
I could see Forrest doing that. Salty trying to see you or anyone trying to judge me, but you know well enough to anticipate my response. Oh, can try to judge me. Well, I told you I won't judge you. Yeah, I know your response. Yeah, nobody. I don't play that game. For one thing, I think if we tried to pull judgment, tried to pull gatekeeping on how people are spending their money, we will all be exposed for the hypocrites that we are. Because the only way to not give money to the woke world is to never spend a dime. Because there is like no way to completely cut it out. It's impossible. And I have strong opinions about people that try to gatekeep people's money and then go psycho about it, stalking people and all that. All right, Cam Crash Course 6223. Love it. You'll see the pain in her eyes. Windows of... Oh, dear. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, there's some things I can't read, obviously. Take no offense, please. It is Anti-Derivative Jill. Yay! I can't stay, but I wanted to say hello. Well, thank you, Anti-Derivative Jill. I do appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Yeah, she has got a really good Star Trek content and a whole bunch of other stuff. Everyone's saying cheers. Everyone's saying hi. Yay! We love saying hi to people here at Miss Smart Muses. Well, we are past the 1 hour mark, so we're going to be winding down this party. As always, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I will ask you again, Stieg, is there anything that you would like to say about it, but we haven't said? Just get it off your chest?
No, it's an awesome movie. But I still think the next two are better. So in a sense, it's pretty much a perfect trilogy. There's it never dips below a 9 or an 8 out of 10. It's yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Oh, we have a super sticker. Yes, we do indeed. We have a super sticker from Salty Traveling Sea. And I am 1,000% certain why, yes, it is. It is a rose. Well, thank you. And Salty Traveling Sea is a muser of House Rose, so that makes it even more special. I'm going to be trying to come up with special stickers, but I don't know how to do it, so I will work it out. Thank you. Oh, whoops. And I'll give you your thank you. Let's see. He made this for me. Boom. Thank you very much. And everyone's saying hello to Anti-Derivative Jill. Base Steak, he's not wrong. Hackman.
Question. I'm a bit of a boomer. I'm not sure what based actually means.
Well,
doesn't that have something to do with cooking?
No, not that kind of based. Are you joking?
No.
Okay. That's that kind. Basting is a cooking thing, but no, when you are based, this is BASED, and yeah, help Stieg out here.
Yeah,
Oh
give me the lore, Salty.
yes, it. Integrator Jill says the name of the TNG Western holodeck episode is called A Fistful of Dollars. It's lots of fun. Yes, yes, I mentioned. I actually that was how I first heard about it because I'm such a normie. Indeed, indeed. Um, let's see, what is Salty Traveling Sea says? Based, a word used when you agree with something or when you want to recognize someone for being themselves.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think that it also is like when it's so brave or brazen, maybe that's also what makes it base.
That is like a blunt thing.
I think that's accurate. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. It's very hard to put into words these things. Oh, saying thank you. Cam Cash Course is saying thank you. Good talk. Cheers, everyone. Well, cheers to you. Well, indeed. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. Steve, you got anything coming up?
No, next month is a top 10 with Mara. I think it's top 10 favorite 2008 movies for both of us. So, not necessarily the best movies, just the favorites. And we're going to have another Western next month. And I have made a pick.
Let us know.
I've gone uh, a bit away from tradition. So I'm going with the 2016 remake of The Magnificent Seven because I figured the original was too obvious. So I went with the remake because I like that one. It's not as good as the original, but it's still very watchable. So I went with a great cast. So, yep.
Well, you heard it here first. So everyone get it watched if you haven't
And
already.
and to be fair, it's a remake nobody asked for, but it still wasn't that bad. I liked it.
Well, oops. You heard it here first. Yes. I was.
Damn it, Salty! Now I want smoked fish, smoked salmon.
Oh, that sounds good. All right. Did I press send? I did. Oops, it all ran together. Well, I'm glad that you said this here, and I was a very bad girl. I was a very bad girl indeed because I did not tell Steve that we were going to be watching A Fistful of Dollars. I I told him in my head, but amazingly, he didn't read my mind. So he found out we were doing this when I announced, told everyone, "Oh yeah, and what Steve and I are doing is Fistful of Dollars," and I didn't tell him. So thank you, Steve, for being more considerate than I am. And I want to point out that here in the chat, that one of the perks that you do get is that you will always have your YouTube channel shared. That's one of the perks that I can offer as a member of Miss Smart Music. So our Musers of House Rose, it is Salty Trout and Sea in his channel, Nordporeal Lifeform in his channel, Prophet of the Dragon is his channel. Thank you for being members. And the gentlemen without channels, but here they are. They get their shout out. Deeple101. Follow them on X and all that. Sort of Poopies Cooper and Sean Sue. So thank you very much for being a member. Oh, dude. Bro, I love smoked fish. Got some excellent smoked salmon here on the Pacific. You do indeed. When I was in Canada, I picked up some from the duty free.
They sell it at the store here for almost nothing.
Oh, I know. Your fish is just
Yeah,
insane.
they have like salmon farms and stuff just 10 minutes away. It's all over, the coast of Norway, these salmon farms.
Yeah, what's a big part of your economy is fish.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah. Um, Fish and oil and fish oil, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you all get some serious oil up there. Okay, Salty Trout Sea says, you really sailed right past me here on the Olympic Peninsula this Martin. I did indeed. That's, I think, the closest I've been to you. One of these days. Well, maybe when you were in Texas that one time for one of the meetups that I'm never going to go to unless, I guess, Unless I get more security than the president, I might go show up with a bunch of mobster security people. I don't know. People are crazy. People are indeed crazy. But yes, I do enjoy everyone here, and I definitely do appreciate you. I've got coming up, I think I already mentioned it. I will be doing another chapter of Wuthering Heights. It's going to take a while to get through Wuthering Heights, but you know what? I'll be putting it on a playlist so you can either read along with me, because I cannot be on a schedule for reasons because of life reasons, but I will be putting it in the playlist. I'm going to be doing more, of course, Lord of the Rings stuff, more Tolkien stuff. I have been doing some letters of Tolkien, but they've been over on the Catholic Explaining channel because the Catholic quotes I tend to put on Catholic Explaining now. So if you want Catholic content, you can go see me over there on Catholic Explaining. But of course, the Lord of the Rings, this is a great time to read the Lord of the Rings. And if you read the Return of the King on March 25th on the Feast of the Annunciation of the Lord, the Solemnity, that's a good way to read it, to follow the liturgical calendar that Tolkien mapped out his story in. That's always lots of fun. What else am I reading? Yeah, Harry Potter, but Harry Potter is also going to be very, very slow because I'm not in a big hurry. I'm enjoying it, but maybe you can look at the playlist. You'll be seeing us around too. Probably more A Song of Ice and Fire content because Steve was on discussing. Oh, wait a second. Just a minute. Yeah, Mom was asking if I was still in the stream. It's like, yes. I guess she heard me talking. Who knows? Anyways, long story short, what was I saying? Song of Ice and Fire content. Yes, Egg, Dexter. He gave us the biggest spoiler we've been waiting for since about Summer Hall. So Steve and I did a stream about that, and most likely we will be doing more Song of Ice and Fire content because it is good, even if he won't finish the damn book. There is new news though, which frankly gives me more hope than anything else, Steve, because the Summer Hall play is finally coming out, and they were delaying that play for a very long time. And the theory was because if we learn what happens at the Harrenhal joust, that is going to be full of spoilers for later content. And now that there is a release date, it's going to be preparing in London with the Royal Shakespearean Company in the summer. I think this might be it. I'm not going to hold my breath, but Steve, I don't know how they can do the Harrenhal tourney and everything that happens there without us getting more content from the Winds of Winter.
Yeah, and I'm still thinking Egg is Varys.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah. And we explain why. It's definitely, now that we know that Dunk survives and that George didn't tell Egg, the actor, whether Egg lived or not, whether Aegon lives or not, it should be completely obvious. Well, Egg dies in the fire, but instead he told him he doesn't know whether he lives or not, which means, come on, he's going to live. We think that definitely, we'll watch the stream, but it's definitely blood magic and that he was the sacrifice. And just like what happened with Daenerys, because Daenerys is dead too. We're almost 1,000% positive. Just clear your brain about what happened in the Game of Thrones TV show, that Daenerys, she was the sacrifice. Like, that's how she was able to survive. She wasn't magically surviving through fire. She died and came alive, just like the way they did with that one fire guy. I don't know his name, that the guy with the Lord of Light, that the Lord of Light can do that with a blood sacrifice. And that Egg was the blood sacrifice and comes alive as Varys. Or someone definitely Varys-like. He is definitely someone that is very loyal to the Targaryens. He is bald like an egg. That's how he's described. And he is castrated. And in the Hedge Knight, as well as in the TV show, they mention that Egg's brother used to threaten to castrate him. Lots of little clues. Lots of little clues. So watch that stream if you want him to go into more detail. And I think that Stieg, you said that maybe sometime we will do one with the Norse mythology, that I think a lot of people misunderstand what Martin is doing because they don't realize that it is based on Ragnarok, or that not based on, that's the wrong wording, but
inspired by.
Yeah, applicable is probably a better word.
It's it looks like the Westeros story is based on or inspired by the Ragnarok
Mhm.
mythology, from Norse mythology, and the Targaryen storyline with the bloodlines and stuff is the end of times from the Bible.
And the political stuff is inspired by the War of the Roses,
Yeah,
and House of the Dragon is inspired by the Anarchy from English history. So if you know, you know. Let's see.
yeah.
We do.
But
We
sadly, most people just watch the show and base everything on that. But the show kind of loosely followed the books for 4 seasons, and then not at all.
mm, yeah. Well, just like even with the Lord of the Rings, most people don't understand um, the story. They've not read the books, and they certainly, a lot of people have outed themselves as not knowing a damn thing about J.R.R. Tolkien. Just
No, they'll
first,
just look up a quote or something, and they don't know the context at all. And just, yeah, I'm a Tolkien fan. Look, I'm posting a Tolkien quote. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Again, they don't. I love it when people try to argue with me about stuff, and I'm like, but Tolkien said it. I'm not saying this. I'm not pulling like, oh, you wish that that's what Tolkien thought. And it's like, well, no, actually, Tolkien thought it. Sorry. Or the way people are behaving on behalf of Tolkien, that shows also that they don't know a damn thing about Tolkien. If they think that lying, even lying about George R. R. Martin, who might deserve it, but you know what? J.R. Tolkien would be horrified about people breaking the commandments on his behalf. And that's all I got to say about that. If you don't know that, then you don't know Tolkien. Because if there was one thing that he always says in all his letters and everything, love it or hate it, but this is what he believed. He was a very staunch Catholic that believed in the afterlife and had a horror of mortal sin. That's why he behaved often the way he behaved, because of that faith. He doesn't want you lying about anybody or grifting and making money off of him, for sure. Um, Winds of Winter, the spring that never comes. Well, unless I'm a sweet summer child, I think he's writing them both at the same time. Isn't that a possibility, Steve?
Well, he's done that all along because basically, when he finished one book, he basically just chopped it off. Okay, this is a good ending. But he had written past it, right?
Yeah,
So he basically just sits and writes and then need to chop it off here or there.
yeah. And he also tends to write them like in a row, doesn't he? Like it's like, I'm going to write all of the Tyrion chapters. I'm going to write all the Catelyn chapters.
Yeah. And apparently, I saw it recently, he said he had written a certain amount. It was 1,200 pages or something. And then he had rewritten because there were mistakes.
Mhm.
So he has basically written it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And I
But,
also think,
better that he does it thoroughly when, on the first go, though.
yeah, I think that he's been having trouble because he's breaking his own rule. He says that if the butler did it, you have to leave it that way. I think that after what Dan and Dave and all them did with the awful Game of Thrones, I think he is deliberately trying to come up with a different ending than they did. He's already hinted at it that he's going to kill Tyrion. So, but don't get me wrong, the boy does not have a pass from me, not even one. Not even one. I will not give him a break at all about how he's been behaving about the Winds of Winter. No. He deserves all the hate in the world that he's receiving for how he has been behaving towards the fans on that. Absolutely, positively, 200,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't defend the man, but I will not lie about him.
No, there's plenty to get him on, but a lot of apes seem to just make up stuff. And look at it, how big a Tolkien fan I am. I'm attacking Martin.
Nope.
Like, yeah, that's not what being a Tolkien fan is all about.
Nope. Well, and it's also good-hearted because the biggest fan I've ever seen of another writer of Tolkien is actually George R. R. Martin. When you actually read what he said, everyone
Hell, he
thinks like,
made a video. When they were trying to
yeah,
they were doing that the best fantasy novel of the century thing. It's like a big uh, contest, whatever.
Hmm.
And Martin made a huge video talking about why Tolkien was the best, and then he told people to vote for The Lord of the Rings instead of his books.
Yeah. And he says it's like one of the greatest books ever written. Like everyone always says, it's like, yeah, he hates Tolkien. It's like,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
he
it's
doesn't.
well, that's a weird way of expressing that he's like one of the greatest writers who ever lived, and one that was he said it was the top 5 books of the 20th century, which I think is fair because there's lots of great literature of the 20th century. But basically, one of the, and also he said several times that he calls him the master, the greatest book ever written, one of the greatest books ever written. Yeah, that's the way a man hates an author. He's even said he's a better writer than me, because people will be like, oh, he's a bit, he said thinks he's a better writer. It's like, no, he's actually said it, that Tolkien's a better writer. Oh, he said he
Yeah.
wanted to know Aragon's tax policies. It's like, yes, he did. And then he also then clarifies after that. He says, but you know what? That's not what Tolkien was writing. Tolkien was writing this. It wouldn't have been appropriate in the book. Everyone made all these videos saying this is why it wouldn't be appropriate. It's like, yes, Martin already said
It
that.
was just showcasing how they are different.
And how it inspired him in a way, because when he read The Lord of the Rings, he wanted to know. And yes, sometimes people think he was making fun or being weird about the genocide of the orcs. It was using hyperbole. It's like, did he kill all the orcs? And then he goes on to say, so in my work, I put some of that stuff in. He says, so it was an inspiration, but it's just so ridiculous. Eventually, I'm going to be making a proper video with the sources. But again, that is not a way to honor J.R.R. Tolkien at all. Oh, he even says he doesn't think J.R.R. Tolkien would like his works. And I completely agree with him. He's completely honest. So where he's honest, you got to say it. He says he wouldn't like it. And everyone's like, George, oh, you think you're so great, but Tolkien wouldn't like your work. It's like, yeah, Tolkien wouldn't like his work, and George R. R. Martin said so. But it's just silly. But yes, he was a man of integrity and moral fortitude. George R. R. Martin calls him a gardener rather than a writer than a linear storyteller. Yeah, indeed. And he doesn't have the discipline. Now, also, you got to remember about Tolkien, well, on several levels. He was primarily a professor, and The Lord of the Rings was a little bit of a side thing he did, including The Hobbit. The Hobbit was originally written for his children, and it was very successful. They wanted another one. And so, yeah, he worked on it for about 10, 15 years, and he got it done because he is disciplined. It was basically one work, and they split it into 3. They released it every year. But then he went on with his life. I mean, he is very clear when you read about his biography, you read about his life, that number one to him was God, second was family, and third was being a professor and all of that, putting food on the table. And yeah, The Lord of the Rings, it definitely was his magnum opus, obviously the greatest expression of everything that he believes in his studies, etc. But it wasn't the way we look at it. Like, he wasn't a meme. Cam Crash Course 6223 says, like the Dune books, I've read A Song of Ice and Fire as a series several times, with some volumes more than others. George R. R. Martin revered is so silly. And that's why I think I will call them grifters, because all you have to do is Google and you know what the truth is. So they know it, but it gets looks and clicks from people that only have time to go through timelines.
One of the castles at the wall is called Oakenshield.
Yeah, you've got Oakenshield, you've got Samwise.
Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam.
Also,
Samuel.
he does a little honoring of Robert Jordan.
True.
It's Sir, what is it? Sir Trebor Jourdain of House Tor.
Yep.
Trebor
Yes.
is Robert backwards. Robert Jourdain, House Tor. Tor is the publishing company he had, or rather the company that published his books.
Yes. So good stuff. Good stuff. But again, I always say criticize him for what he deserves it for, and there's plenty he does. That's just all there is to it. Just like anybody else,
I think he also has 3 of the Muppets in there.
He does have the Muppets. I forget which house has the Muppets. And contrary to what people say, there are good people in the Song of Ice and Fire. You have, well, first of all,
well, there's tons of them.
Well, Samwell. There is
Sir Barristan.
Sir Barristan is amazing. You have
Tyrion is actually a good person, and Jaime is turning into one. Might have always been one. It's just been bitter.
Might argue with you about Tyrion, but that's okay. But definitely Jaime.
Read book 4 and 5.
Okay, I will. But definitely Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
What's his name? Well, we just said Jaime. Jaime's on his way to being a hero. Just ignore everything from the TV show. Yes, he starts off awful and base. Awful terrible.
Stark and a lot of them up at the wall, actually.
Yeah, almost all the men at the wall. Aeron Targaryen, the Maester, he's a great character. And it's like you're supposed to think that Cersei's a terrible person. You're supposed to think that Robert, is a bad person. You're not, just because there's bad people in a story, that doesn't mean that you're glorifying them. Just because some weirdos went and got Khaleesi tattoos, that doesn't mean that that's what's written. Because even in the book, as I'm reading the books, I'm only on book 3, and I have stopped because I'm pissed off at him for not finishing it. But I don't think Daenerys is good at all. I correct me if I'm wrong. Is she ever presented as a good person in the books?
She's very concerned about freeing the slaves and stuff, but she does some really shit as well.
Yeah, and she has a madness to her, especially after what happens with the whole pyre thing, which I think goes to the fact that she's a whatever you call it, because you get obsessed with what happened right before you died. That's why Lady Stoneheart. Fire right. Thank you. So whatever she's obsessed with right when she's dying is what her obsession is for the rest of it. And there's a bit of a madness. Lady Stoneheart, Catelyn Stark, is obviously definitely obsessed, definitely an extreme version of that. And we think it's going to be the same with Jon Snow.
No.
Maybe Jon Snow. Well, we'll see.
I don't think Jon's going to be in the body when it's awakened.
Oh, yeah, he'll be in Ghost. That's why he's called Ghost. He's going to, yeah. But either way, if he does come back, I think that's how he's going to be. Yeah, but yeah, definitely good characters, and you're supposed to be drawn.
Jojen and Mira Reed.
Yes.
They're good people.
Yeah, and that there is hope in it. I feel like what Tolkien is writing about is about the long defeat of history, which is what Tolkien believed in. When you read about, he believed history was nothing more than one long defeat. That is not a negative attitude either, by the way. It's true, but in his context, he believed it was one long defeat. Partly, he said, I'm a Catholic. How can I see it as otherwise? But also his optimism is the final victory, which is heaven, Jesus triumphing and everything. So that was part of his outlook. So when you see something as being a long defeat, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means that there's something greater to come. So we know that Martin does not believe in that. So, but you can still write about the long defeat of history and completely agree with that. As a historian, I will say history is nothing but one long defeat. And if you don't think it's one long defeat, for crying out loud, are you paying attention to the world events right now? One step forward, 10 steps back, always. That's what.
If you look at science, it's one long line of corrections.
Yep. Yeah, I know we were going to close out on this, but we got talking. I got Tolkien. Tolkien was a professor of philologist, professor of history and languages. That is Absolutely true. Philology, yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Cheers, everyone. Yeah. So if you want to really read a masterpiece, read his essay on fairy tales, on fairy stories. So those are things that we're going to be discussing, even though we just kind of discussed it, but we're definitely going to be discussing more of it. But definitely there are good characters. Now let's throw out Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I like that normies are getting into the Hedge Knight, because you want to talk about something that just proves it's never been true. Dunk and egg and the Baelor Targaryen, for crying out loud. Yeah, they're showing that even Targaryens were good and honest. And Maekar is good. He just is in a shit situation with having some crazy kids that are having these dreams that they don't know what to do with. But almost everybody, except for the frothing at the mouth villain, is a good person in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, aka the Hedge Knight.
Sir Davos.
Oh, of course, Sir Davos. Yeah. There's that, and well, Raymond Fossaway. Everyone that sides with Duncan is good. Oh. Good to different degrees, but they're still ultimately, they were seduced by good, and the show shows that. So maybe this will help people put things into perspective a little bit. Now, there will always be people every few months saying the same memes because they get the views, and often they get the views. This is why I basically quit responding to them, because they're counting on me saying exactly what I've just told you all. And guess what these bastards get for it? Attention. They get clicks, they get money from it. So even if I'm schooling them, I'm giving them what they want, because they don't want the truth. And I'll throw this one out there, because I did do a Catholic explaining when I was still doing Catholic explaining on my channel. I did a Catholic explaining online trolling, and I included also clickbait and all of that. And the Holy Father has actually said something about that during Lent. He said, maybe you need to start purging this out of your life. He said, including how you are online. Are you watching your words online? That if you are a Christian and you're doing this, you are toying with mortal sin.
And well, not just it's people who post clickbait and lies get praised, especially by Christians and stuff. But the people who tell the truth are the ones who get bashed.
Mm-hmm. And what does Jesus warn about all the time? Be wary of the praise of men.
Mm-hmm.
So just saying there, throwing that out there, and also throwing it out there as a warning. I mean, do you really, if you're a believer, do you really want to get to Judgment Day and Jesus going, well, you committed mortal sin and gave up the grace that was within you. You forfeited this to get a few digs at George R.R. Martin. How? Really? Really? And one could argue, come on, is it really a mortal sin? Well, yeah, the church teaches that any sin deliberately done is a mortal sin. And if it's done to harm, or if it's calumny or slander, we're in the territory of mortal sin. Now, is it going to maybe cost you heaven? Maybe, maybe not. You want to take that chance, because the more you sin, this is also part of our chain. Gosh, I need to change this over to Catholic explaining eventually. The more you sin, it's just like the more you do good. The more you do good, the more good that happens, the more grace increases. The more you do bad, the more the bad and the negative increases. And the more, the more easy sin is, you're going to sin harder, if you will. And then it'll be easier to do the next sin, the next sin, the next sin. And next thing you know, you are in mortal sin. Is it really worth it over fantasy? Really? When telling the truth is just as easy. Just tell the truth, because the truth is far more fascinating. The truth is more romantic. The truth is more exciting than the lie. Gosh darn it. Okay, I'm going to quit preaching. I do have to go. Mom keeps saying, are you done yet? Are you done yet? I swear, if I get out there and she says, I want to watch episode 3 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I'll forgive her absolutely for it. She's loving it. So She calls it egg. It's like, I want to watch egg again. So thank you, Stieg, as always. Thank you. And so stay tuned for more Song of Ice and Fire content. It will get very fascinating. And, I know I have a working knowledge of Norse mythology and Ragnarok, but Stieg, it's in his bones because it's part of his culture. So he really, when he sees it, it's like a sore thumb and it's sticking out. It's like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely this, in the best sense of the word. While it may not be something that I noticed when I was reading the books the first time. Well, I still haven't finished them all, but I didn't catch like Hodor. I didn't catch Hodor, but Steve did. And he can say it better than I can. So stay tuned for Hodor. What's behind all that? So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to watch good entertainment, watch good Westerns, be truthful, be honest, and be a true knight.